I stand before this court without trepidation and without timidity because the truth cannot be suppressed today and the truth will not be compromised. Mohandas Gandhi, one of the most benevolent people to ever grace this earth, once said, "Even if you are only one person, the truth is still the truth." The dilemma we face today is whether this court chooses to acknowledge the truth. The following statement is for everyone's edification. One day, every enslaved animal will obtain their freedom and the animal rights movement will succeed, because Gandhi also proclaimed all throughout history, the way of truth and love is always won. There have been murderers and tyrants, and at times they have seemed invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Always. The true devoted humanitarians who are working towards the magnanimous goal of achieving freedom for animals cannot be stopped by unjust laws. As long as humans are placed on a pedestal above non-humans, injustice to animals will fester, because without universal equality, one type of equality will always create another type of inequality. There will be no compromise here today, because the truth cannot be compromised. My presence in this courtroom today is paradoxical. I ask this court, if it is not a crime to torture, enslave, and murder animals, then how can it be a crime to free tortured, enslaved, and soon-to-be murdered animals? Humankind must climb out of its abyss of callousness, its abyss of apathy, and its abyss of greed. Enslaving and killing animals for human satisfaction can never be justified. And the fur industry must understand that the millions of manual neck breakings, anal and genital electrocutions, mass gassings, drownings, and toxic chemical injections can never be justified. And the snaring of millions of free-roaming animals in steel-jaw leg-hold traps who die slow, horrific deaths is unjustifiable as well. There will be no compromise, for the truth cannot be compromised. The schism that this court has created among the 5 co-accused has been sealed. Now that I have been convicted through my volition and in a symbolic protest of the unjust conditions that animals endure, a hunger strike will begin tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. For every mink that ever languished in a tiny cage and was savagely murdered at the Ebert's Fur Farm, I will go hungry. And for the 40 million other animals worldwide who have the skin ripped off their backs in a disgusting display of barbarity, in the name of vanity, I will go hungry. And if this court expects me to experience an apostasy, meaning an abandoning of my beliefs, it is sadly mistaken. In April of '97, when I was incarcerated for 10 days in a Chatham jail, I briefly experienced vicariously what a caged animal goes through. And thanks to that 10-day bail hearing, my empathy for every mistreated animal intensified. No matter what I go through during my incarceration and hunger strike will be nothing compared to the everlasting torture that innocent animals endure on a daily basis. And if this court is alarmed by my honesty, let me close with a quote from slave abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison. I will be as harsh as the truth and as uncompromising as justice. On this subject, I do not wish to think or speak or write with moderation. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. The apathy of the people is enough to make every statue leap from its pedestal and hasten the resurrection of the dead. My influence shall be felt in coming years, not perniciously but beneficially, not as a curse but as a blessing, and posterity will bear testimony that I was right. There will be no compromise here today, because the truth cannot be compromised.
That